Alright, going to be doing a Galactic Arena battle here. This is an event in the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes mobile game. It's a pretty cool mode which pits you up against another player with a similar roster in a one-on-one kind of galactic war battle where you put your teams up against their best. So after doing a quick scan of their teams, I noticed that their Night Sisters team's a little bit weak, and I've got a good counter of that with the Imperial Troopers. It's only a good counter if it's a really weak Night Sisters team. So I'm going to be using the Imperial Troopers in this, and it should hopefully make quick work of this team. If the Night Sisters are relic level, you cannot get away with using Gear 12 Imperial Trooper. This used to be the hard and fast counter for any Night Sisters, especially back in the day when it used to be more effective to have a weak zombie, but nowadays this is not really a viable counter. However, in this case, I can still use it. Most of the battles here are either winnable or losable in 60 seconds, so I've kind of got some impatience. I'll either win or lose in 60 seconds. A lot of the times I just auto battle, kind of poking and prodding the move I want. I also didn't realize using this recording app that I could have the volume on, so I think halfway through this video we should have the great sounds of Star Wars join us once again. 59 points. 60 is about perfect, but I think there's a perfect as 64 because you can technically send in a single guy, and for every empty slot you get an extra point. So if you send in one guy, he wipes out an entire 5-man team and leaves with full health and protection. I think you get 64 points or something like that. But don't quote me. I'm terrible at this game. I'm not really good at this game. I've just played it for a long time, so I've got a bunch of heroes and stuff. But when it comes to the strategies, I'm not one of the theory crafting guys that's on top of their stuff. So just looking for a counter team. I'm going in with a little bit of an overpowered resistance team. This is definitely overpowered, but I can tell kind of by the soft defense this player has set that I can get away with kind of overkilling this Scar's team. It used to be more of a popular team from the Old Republic video game, a game that I paid 12 bucks for and barely played before losing interest in it. Apparently people really liked it because this game was nothing but Revens and Knights of the Old Republic for like a solid 8-month to 10-month period of time. And for those of us who didn't play the game, we were just like, yeah, we want some characters we know. But anyway, the faction's here, and it's often used in defense. I was using a card team for defense for a little while too, but I just kind of stopped in favor of other teams. But yeah, auto-battling this Albar generally takes a lot of hits, but no match for a relic team, relic resistance team with a Jedi training ray. Boom. So on to the next match, and I used an overpowered team to kill it. I will generally do that because it's better than me going in with it. Oh, and so here in this case they had their best teams in the back, so I'm going to use my best team left, which is my General Skywalker team, and it's going to completely bowl over this team, which is generally a pretty strong team, but I always keep my best team for offense. Since I absolutely suck at offense, I need to overcompensate by going in with teams that are better than my opponent's team. So in this case, I think this player went pretty soft on defense. The only two solid teams are this droid team with Grievous, and Grievous can be quite tough to take out on his own, and the other team being the Bounty Hunter team right beside it, which we'll try next. And I have quite difficult times with the Bounty Hunter teams because the Bosk just regains health just at such a rapid pace, it can be quite difficult to take them out. And when you don't know the functions of the game as well as I do, I don't really know proper counter teams for everything, so my goal is overcompensate by going in strong with an overpowered team. So let's try this Bosk team. Yeah, because all these are relatively weak, so I'll save that for last. So I'll use, I guess, Revan. That's pretty overpowered team compared to the Bounty Hunters. It should win. They're similar gear level, or same gear level I should say, so it would be an even match, except for factions definitely play a big part. Some factions are just stronger than others, and it makes sense that Sith Lords would be stronger than Bounty Hunters. So but as you can see, this Bosk keeps taking health. He's the guy in the front there that I keep beating up, and he just constantly oh, he's taking some, oh, he's regaining it back, oh, he's regaining it back, oh, he's just super hard and super annoying to kill. Like, as you can see, he just constantly regains health. So here I've decided, oh, I'm not going to go for Bosk, I'm going to try to target somebody else, but he's got the taunt, so he forces you to hit him, that he just regains that health, so it's a little bit nasty. I think the only way I'm going to get him here is from Annihilate, from Darth Nihilus. So yeah, there we go. So he's got a crazy special move, which is basically he kills anybody in one hit. It takes 8 turns to get it charged up. But you can reduce that by using a drain move, and he can potentially reduce that turn count by 1 for every opponent he drains, generally speaking. Poorly explained, but that's what it is. So in this case, I got it a little bit early, and when the boss falls, the rest of the team should just crumble, especially if you've got a full team left. So in this case, this team is done. Oh yeah, and these bounty hunters too. The Jango Fett and Boba Fett, they come back from the death too, so you have to actually kill them twice. So it's kind of annoying. It's a pretty good team, especially really built well, which this one is for Gear 12. It's actually built surprisingly well. It was doing okay against this team, despite the fact it looks like their team's all full health, so it didn't really stand a chance. It actually was competing okay. If it took out a few of my guys, it could have really potentially started to swing in its favor, but... Alright, so that back wall's done, or that front wall, yeah, that back wall's done, so we've just got these 3 teams. They're quite soft. I'm going to mirror match the Ewoks, because they've got some pretty soft Ewoks, but I got some pretty good Ewoks, so sometimes I'll just do that mirror match thing too. If my team I can tell is better than their team, I will just mirror match and hope that I win, and as you can see, my team, despite being higher gear, is still slower. I don't entirely mind when the Ewok teams go first, because generally they'll give you a bunch of debuffs. In this case, they didn't really do that much debuffs, but one of the common ones is they'll prevent you from gaining turn meter, and then it's kind of a bad time because the Ewoks rely so heavily on gaining turn meter off of each other and giving each other turn meter, which is why you see so many of them attacking, and it also reduces assists. So when they do those debuffs to you first turn, you can cleanse those debuffs, and then you won't have to worry about them putting them on you again for a few turns. So sometimes I like getting that just out of the way with. So if they go first, I'm not usually too sad about it, especially in like this case where my team is still higher geared, so it'll survive that opening volley and do perfectly fine. And so in this case, they have the Ewoks have the Elder, which is a healer which can heal all the entire team at once, which is kind of annoying, so you really have to go for the Elder first, but they had a Taunter, so I had to kill the Taunter, and anyway, this is a done match. Little Fur Bears are done. So that leaves us with 2 teams left. Luckily, they're both not too strong. We had a First Order team and that weird Rebel team with Akbar, which I think is the better of the 2. So I've got 2 teams left, and they're both pretty good. I've got still some Sith here, and this new Vader. It's the old Vader, but they've just recently reworked him. I have no idea really exactly what they've done to him, but apparently good things have come out of this change, and as you can see, he goes crazy, kills that guy, comes in, he starts going crazy. Takes like 4 turns in a row, like 5 turns, like what was that? He killed 2 guys, crippled the Phasma, just so, yeah, I don't know what happened to Vader. He used to be not very good, and now he's just crazy, so I'm probably going to have to build him up a little bit more. That ended super fast. Vader seems OP now. So, final team is Rebels, and I'll use my droid team that I have left, and it'll absolutely just flatten this team. This guy put a pretty soft defense, so I'm pretty sure he's going to come back and pretty much board wipe me. So it's going to be down to whoever was the most efficient, and I feel like I did okay. I lost very few people, so it's going to come right down to the wire, down to whoever had the most protection on the most guys surviving. Or actually, I should say that's if I beat ships. This is where I often will lose my entire galactic wars when it comes to the ship battle. I absolutely hate ships, and would be very happy if I didn't have to spend any time farming them, but of course they've made them a mandatory part of the game. So yeah, I've had to build some ships, and I've only got about 1 or 2 viable teams, and I set my second best team on defense to save my best team for offense. That's just my general strategy, is save my best for offense. Again, win by overcompensating, not by skill. And luckily this fleet looks a little bit soft. It's usually that doesn't mean anything, it'll usually crush me, but in this case it looks like it could go in my favor. 2 ships down already, and this is going well. So I've just recently switched my capital ship to General Grievous's ship too. I was using a Thrawn's capital ship at 7 stars, and I felt like I didn't want to switch because I didn't have the Grievous ship maxed out. Well, it's still a heck of a lot better than the Thrawn one, so that's it. Got a board wipe, 1,918 points is pretty darn good. That wraps up this Galactic War. Let's get some prizes. And I actually caught this guy attacking me. Here he is hitting my Night Sisters team. He's already beat the Bounty Hunter team. He's done some damage up north, beat my Revan team and my Padme team, one-shotting everything. He hasn't hit the Rebel team yet, but as suspected, he's pretty much mowing through stuff. He had a pretty soft defense, so he saved a lot of stuff for offense. Here he is hitting the Night Sister team, probably with Imperial Troopers, because this is a pretty weak Night Sisters team too. It definitely falls under the category of Night Sisters that can be beaten with Imperial Troopers. And I'm going to be speeding up some of these battles here, just cutting it out some of the time that it takes. So he beats that team. I'm kind of searching around. Where is he going next? Is he going up here? Is he going to hit the Rebel team? Or is he going to hit some of my super teams in the south? Okay, maybe not necessarily both super teams. The Genosan team's not very good, but it's just a team that he's going to come in with this Traya. He hasn't set it on defense, so the Traya's got that ability where every time an opponent attacks out of turn, they take damage, and every time a Genosan attacks, they all attack, so it just suicides. No matter how good it looks like this guy's doing, though, there's no way he's going to beat my super team of Farm Boy Luke, Rose Tico. We got Clone Wars Chewbacca there and Tusken Shaman and a Nest that's going to make it a little bit defendable. So let's see what's going to hit next. Is he going to hit the Rebel team? Is he going to hit the super duper mega awesome team, best team ever? Honestly, I think he's a little bit scared of this team, and I would be too if I were him, so I'd be hitting up the Rebel team up north. But is he hitting up the Rebel team up north? No, he isn't. He decides he's brave enough, he's bold enough, he's strong enough. Now I cut this a bit forward. He did spend a full 5 minutes hitting this team, and the outcome was unfortunate. Unfortunately for him, he completely underestimates this absolutely meta team that's absolute big brain, and he doesn't know what to do. Obviously, he's never ever faced a team quite like this before, and he bites it, which costs him the game. Unfortunately for him, since I had beaten all of his teams in one go, him losing this one, he lost the bonus that you get for winning a match on your first try, and that's going to cause him a loss. But he still goes and clears everything, which I would too. You've got certain awards and achievements for beating everything. He crushes my ships. My second best fleet of garbage fleets to begin with isn't very good, so it's pretty easy for him to just mow right over it. Well, cleanup time. He's got to take on that Nest that cost him the game previously. He's got no other choice left. Obviously, he's still got enough in his roster left to take out the Nest, though. He's going to come in with a team of 5 and just completely overwhelm it. So this match is pretty much over here, but let's see exactly how many points this game ends with. I cut out most of this battle, but it took him about a minute or two to beat this Nest, so that was the end of the game there. I won 1,918 to his 1,889. Him biting it to my super mega awesome team lost him the match. So now I'm going to be paired up against somebody who also won their first match, and I'm definitely going to get crushed. So I'll record that side of the battle too next time. Here's the Nest if anybody cares about the stats. I kind of beefed her up a bit, but hopefully you like this. I'm going to record the rest of this GAC if anybody's interested. And thanks for watching and all that stuff. Subscribe, like. Yep, thanks.